We are here today with Igor Kheifets. Igor, welcome.
Thank you, Mike. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. Now, I've heard a lot about you. You were one of my last interviews in this series. Some of the people I've interviewed already were coached by you. So I'm really interested in finding out a little bit about you and how you got into solo ads.
Oh, well, it kind of goes way back into 2010 or so, so a few years back. And that just goes to show how solo ads were a consistent income stream for me because, they allowed me to completely quit my day job fairly quickly. Originally, I started out with MLM, like when I was just starting out with marketing, but MLM did not work for me. So a couple of years of my life were wasted. So I can't say I chased friends or family, even though I tried to sign up my best buddy, into my GDI downline, the Global Domains International, but he wouldn't go.
Good.
Um, but then I dropped MLM and moved into information marketing with Jonathan Budd's MLM Mastermind system, which was like a software product that allowed network marketers to promote their opportunities by creating squeeze pages and like funnels. So that's how I made my first dollar. It was literally $1 for a 14-day trial. And eventually, as soon as I made my first sale, I was like, all right, this is it. I quit my day job now and I'm going to do this full time, which I did. I had a fairly okay day job. I mean, I wasn't like at that time. I wasn't washing dishes at Burger King, and I wasn't serving coffee at an Israeli version of Starbucks, which is called Aroma. So if anyone's listening to this is from Israel, they will be able to. You can actually find a single Aroma in New York. So I quit the day job. I spent the next 6 months trying to make it work. Failed, got another day job. Got two day jobs at the time because I couldn't support myself on a single day job,
Hmm.
and I started building a list. Now at that time, that's when it really hit and really changed. So the first attempt to build a list was ridiculous. I spent about building a list of 1,000 people,
How much did you spend? It broke out for me.
8 months.
Okay, you spent 8 months building a list. Okay.
Yes. So it was 8 months building a list. I built a list of 1,000 people into my GetResponse account.
Okay.
And when I mailed that list, I would get about 3 opens and a click. So eventually I had to admit the obvious, kind of close the account, move to Aweber, and start over. And that's when I discovered JV giveaways, solo ads, and ad swaps. Now, solo ads weren't as mainstream at the time. It was kind of like a, underground kind of thing. And I believe I found a free report on the Warrior Forum by a guy, either Matthew Garrett or Matt Wolf. Um, the report was about iamadswaps.com, which is like a forum where people go to AdSwap. And on that forum, I noticed people sell solo ads, and from that forum, I also got into a special Skype chat room where people like do this kind of business where they swap, sell, do mini giveaways, JV giveaways, etc. A lot of big time marketers were in that forum, like Mike Cowles, I believe, the Brown. I met him through that. And yeah, so this is how I got into the whole list building ad swapping community, and then I was using ad swaps to do affiliate marketing fairly well for me. It allowed me to quit my day job. At some point, I started making about $1,200 to $1,500 a month, which is enough to quit the day job if you live in the small town that I live in. Because I live in an extremely small town. It's about 35, maybe 40,000 people big, um, just near the Dead Sea. So if you ever visit the Dead Sea, you'd probably stop by, and you probably stop by in this very same bar that I work in right now, because it's pretty famous. Within people who travel from abroad, they come here. We have like the best burgers in the country.
You and I were saying, just for the people watching, before the interview started, I was like, wow, Igor, that's an amazing background you have there. That's really great. And he's like, well, it's not actually mine. I'm in a bar. But I did find out that you contributed something to it. What was it?
Yeah, I went to Manchester to a seminar. I was fortunate enough, was that the seminar was in Manchester, because I'm not the kind of guy who likes to travel. I mean, this is not what you like would expect from a person who makes a lot of money online, right? Because we all want that freedom. But I'm actually all for the freedom from money worries versus the freedom to travel the world. And I went to Manchester, and I'm a big fan of Manchester United. Well, soccer team if you're an American, and football team if you're from Europe. And I've bought like as you can tell, there's a lot of let me kind of do this. If you look at the ceiling, like there's a lot of scarves and with team
Cool
names and
place.
stuff like that. Yeah, and so I brought a scarf, and now I feel I contributed to the place, and now I belong here. Ever since I did, I work here. Plus, they give me free drinks every once in a while for being a stand-up guy. So, you know.
So okay, so you started building your list. You're making pretty good money. You're making $1,200 a month, $1,500 a month, and but it's obviously not enough for you.
Yeah, I felt like I hit a glass ceiling. If anyone listened to this, kind of makes money, but certain level for a while, then you know exactly what it feels like when you hit a ceiling and you can't really break through. And even if you rinse and repeat your routine harder and faster and do it more, you still cannot break through because something's just not working. And I admitted to myself that it's time to get a coach. And surprisingly, my wife agreed, which is not something that happens a lot within the household. So I went out there. I went into the Skype chat rooms, and I requested help. I just posted that I'm making this amount of money right now. I really want to make more. If you're making more than I do, I want to talk to you. And there was one guy who reached out, Jason Benoit, and I believe he's also a part of this video like training series. He's a great guy, great coach. I owe like a lot of my success to him. So like Rich Sheffrin would talk a lot about Jay Abraham. He's my Jay Abraham, so to speak. He introduced me to the concept of soloettes. But what's funny, he introduced me to the concept of soloettes as a fast way to get some money coming in while you build an affiliate marketing business. Because that's what he was doing. He wasn't really like doing this full time on a full scale. He was just doing it occasionally, because at the time the belief was if you sell solos, you're killing your list. Okay, even though you kind of mail your list anyway with an affiliate offer, so it's like the same thing. So I decided at the time that after I sold a couple of them, and I was like, damn, this is easy. I'm literally making like $60 a day right now just by sending clicks to an offer. The problem, of course, was how to to figure out how do you guarantee the every single time.
Yeah.
That was scary. I wouldn't sell another soul until I would deliver the previous one. And of course, how do you make more? Because at the time, since it was so underground and there wasn't like a big market for it, I would sell my clicks for ridiculously low amounts of money. But I was happy with it because that was some kind of money coming in.
Sure.
And I'm a conservative kind of person, so I value safety. I wasn't chasing like the big bucks, but I wanted a safe way, a predictable way to do things. And so eventually, as I was doing it more and more every single week, I figured, okay, so maybe I can turn this into a business model, because until now, there wasn't anyone who really did it. There wasn't anyone who really like made solos into a consistent, ongoing income stream. Some would sell it occasionally, some would like sell solos occasionally, but so I started working on it, and eventually, it led to me kind of skyrocketing almost from making 12 to 1,500 bucks a month to making 10 grand a month in as little as 6 months, even less than that. So eventually, by the time I was making 10 grand, actually at the time when I like realized this, I was making it like 750. I'm sorry, 7,500 a month or so. So I was on the way to 10 grand. I kind of sat down one evening with my wife, and we did some math. Turns out that I was making 13 times what my mom would make working a whole month on a factory, which she worked at the time. Now I kind of retired her, but I made 13 pages. Like, so she had to work a whole year plus 1 month to make what I was making in a month. hit me. Then it kind of hit me that, all right, man, you've arrived. You've just arrived. You've been sitting home all the entire month, and you're just made 13 paychecks. Then then you could have been making on job, or that many of your friends are now making
How did you get to
jobs. So
that
that
point though? Here's the thing: you went so quickly from making 1,200 to 7,000 or 10,000. What did you do differently? Were you making it from swapping, from selling, from JV events? What's your secret, Igor?
right. Well, if I kind of rewind, I'd say the bulk of my money came with solo ads, but the challenge was to grow the list as you do solo ads, because every time with mail I would get unsubscribed, so I couldn't, you'd imagine, and you really had to justify mailing your list so often with the actual list. So the secret, okay, and that's like what I keep telling people, and many of them refuse to take it in. Many of them keep looking for the free way to like succeed, which there isn't a free way. And you and me know both, you and me both know that, is that I figured out a way to have the funnel produce anywhere from 50 to 100 or more percent of the investment that I was making. So obviously I wasn't making all of my money every time, but I was making something every time I would invest in a solo, or every time I would swap, and therefore I could take this money and reinvest it back into the business, versus taking the money out of pocket, out of my family budget, and keeping, to invest it into the business. So because I had this recycling going on with the cash flow, I was able to quickly skyrocket. I was able to invest a lot of money into my advertising and kind of skyrocket myself up.
And that, from what I've learned so far by doing this series, is that the guys that are doing the best, the guys that have this, have the businesses that are really skyrocketing the quickest, are the ones that are focusing mainly on the funnel. And it's almost like solo ads are. We're talking about it as like this is the main topic here, but it's almost like that they're just a side project that helps propel your funnel and your sales funnel up. I mean, are you understanding me? Am I right there?
Well,
Am
it's
I
just the
on?
other way around. It's the other way around, because the sales funnel is the one propelling your solo business in many different ways. So as we touched, it allows you to reinvest more money into your business without actually sacrificing the quality of the life of your family or your own quality of life. Two, it allows you to generate higher quality subscribers. So if you were to compare the quality of the click, right, because the solo ads is just selling the click, right? So off of a list that would generate through like a classic funnel, where a person had a product and upsells, and there's some kind of value going on and stuff like that, versus somebody who just builds their list by redirecting a person from a squeeze page to an affiliate offer, which is how many people choose to build their list today for solo ads, and they think it's going to last. It doesn't. I mean, they kind of lose their entire income and get stuck at about 50 clicks a day in maybe like a couple of months. So it's short-lived strategy, and that's why I'm not advocating that. That's why I always advocate, building your funnel first. So what it allows you to do is it allows you to generate higher quality traffic for your customers and clients in your solo business, and that in turn guarantees for them to come back to you first. First of all, to give you, second of all, and three, to pay you more for your traffic, because a big problem for anyone who's buying traffic with solo ads, oftentimes they land on a very low list, or very low quality list, should I say. And that's why many of them get discouraged and discard the whole strategy of solo ads, altogether. But many of my clients who were able to persevere through, go through the bad lists and find good ones, these are ones that are really growing their businesses and taking them to the next level, and growing themselves as 30 figures in their community by pretty much doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, but doing it the smart way. And so the funnel, right, is what enables us to be better solo ad sellers. It's what enables us to bring better value to our clients and to build a business that can pay your bills for a long time. As I said, I've been doing this since 2010. If you track back if you just go to the Warrior Forum and you search for my name and you find my very first post, I believe that was in December 2010, right before the new year, when I kind of made that full-time shift and transition into becoming the solo guy that I'm known for being today.
Tell me about your funnel. Tell me about your squeeze page. What are you doing through the whole thing that is perhaps different than a lot of other people are doing?
Okay, well, many people, as I said, the first thing that like the biggest mistake today is many people try to avoid building a funnel, avoid building an info product. Now that is understandable because they believe that in order to build an info product, in order to build a funnel, you really have to be some kind of an expert. You have to have experienced some kind of previous success, and you really have to, I don't know, be some kind of genius. You know, you have to be Frank Kern to do it. You don't. And to successfully grow a business and grow a list, you don't have to build like $1 million funnels either. It's enough to have a very low ticket front end, like a 17, maybe 12.95 or 7 or 9.95 or something, and a mid ticket upsell, like something around $47 mark, and that's it. Okay, so the reason the funnel would work is because a portion of your opt-ins would go for the upsell. And it's also, one of the issues we'll have to discuss on this call because a lot of people get the upsell wrong. So they would opt
Can I
into
just
your list.
interrupt you for one sec? Sorry. What are you selling your front end item for? Because that's something that I hear different prices.
Okay, well, my items range from 37 to 7. So like,
So over your different funnels that you use, you have those kind of prices.
we actually were really surprised when we tested 37 versus 17, and 37 converted just as well. So we were like making twice the money, making just as many sales. So you should really test your pricing, and you should test everything. I mean, you should just test. Just test ridiculous things like the color of your background, the font of your copy. Like by changing the font over at one student's sales funnel, we were able to get more sales just because the font was easier to read. And that's like this tiny little thing that was affecting sales. You should really test. So, as I was saying, a small percentage of your opt-ins will go for the front end if your copy is any good. So, the key is to not sell more front end like more front end products, but to have more front end customers take you up on your upsell and increasing the lifetime value of your customer by creating upsells, by creating cross sells, and by effectively marketing to them on the follow-up. Okay, because the majority of your list will never buy anything. That's just the nature of the business as the businesses. Like if you think of direct marketing, direct mail marketing, right? Direct mail, like these guys know exactly what they're doing. And I like to study direct mail superstars such as Gary Halbert, Dan Kennedy. Frank Kern knows a lot of his success in direct mail because he studied from Dan Kennedy. So a big chunk of what we're doing here, especially email marketers, it's like an exact, identical copy of what's happening in the direct mail industry. And so direct mail guys will tell you that they operate with a tiny percentage of the people who are going to take action. So like from a big mailing they do, maybe less than 1% will actually act on their offer, pick up the phone, or do anything, So their job is to make sure that that small, tiny percentage is going to make them enough money to pay for the promotion and make them a profit. So that's probably the key, I'd say, to the entire, sales funnel approach, no matter the traffic source you're using, whether you run a WSO, or whether you do email marketing, whether you do banner advertising. You have to make sure that the customers who do take you up on your offer, that you extend their lifetime value, like kind of swell it up, almost with more products, more offers, and cross-selling and high ticket.
Okay, so you've got what kind of upsells are you doing?
What kind of upsells? Well, depending on what I'm selling the front end, the upsell has to be complementary, but at the same time, it cannot take away from the front end. So a classic example would be if I'm selling a list building product on the front end, I would probably sell some kind of squeeze page generating software on the back end, which I can get just a PLR and rebrand it to me, or a set of graphical headlines for your squeeze pages and sales page that work really well. Or I have a product called Gorgeous Copy Paste Headlines that I launched with a partner of mine, Hemela Streamaides, and well, he's just so good at graphics. It just would be ridiculous not to do such a product. So we sold it for $9.95, and on the back end we offered what we call the plug and play sales booster, which is a bunch of templates that you can just stick into your pages and funnels and blogs to really increase the response. Like arrows, doodles, headline formulas, templates for your screenshot images, that you can use with like beautiful errors and writing and fonts, and so it was really cool. Now, obviously, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm the least technical person you'll ever see. I can FTP something into my website, but that's like about it. If I need to set something up, I actually outsource it. And so, like, you may be thinking, I don't have like those graphic skills to do such a product. Well, you don't have to. You can either partner up with somebody who has and split the profits, or you can outsource it for ridiculously low amounts of money, because there's tons of broke designers who will work for pennies, or in exchange for your services, whatever you do. So me and Emka, Emka is analyst for me. It's what he goes by around the
I did
internet
an interview with him
part.
for my regular show. He's going to be on the show probably next week.
All right. Well, he's a great guy and a very smart marketer as well. So you should listen to him. If he says something, you should listen to him. And so when we partnered up, I was actually looking for a designer. I was looking for somebody who will have in-house to help me with my design. In exchange, I offered coaching services about list building. That's how we originally met. And yeah, so he helped me with that, and I helped him with his business that he took to 10 grand a month in about 4 to 5 months or so. The guy's really talented. I'm telling you. I mean, you don't see these kind of success stories every single day, but he was hungry. He was still studying in the university, and he's from Lithuania. I mean, imagine making 10 grand a month in Lithuania. I mean, he was like making more than the president, I think. It's like ridiculous. So
it's one of the reasons why I like living in Europe, in Istanbul, is here, that my dollar now is worth double their currency here. So when I bring a dollar in, it's almost like I'm making a double income. It's nice.
Yeah, it's 4 times here. So like every dollar I make, I bring in 4. But when I got started, every dollar I did invest would hurt me 4 times as much.
Yeah.
So that was challenging. But then we persevered, and now we're here. And so we partnered up with Emka. I said, okay, so I got copywriting skills, I got list building skills, you got the technical skills, and you got the design skills. Let's partner up and do something. And we launched a series of products. It worked really well. So if you don't possess any kind of, if you don't have like a key skill that's gonna take that you need in order to make more money, find somebody to partner up with. You can easily find someone on the Warrior Forum joint venture section. There's tons of people looking for joint ventures there. I don't know, Digital Point or Money Making Discussions. I mean, there's a bunch of forums that you can go to that you can find a partner. And if that's what's holding you back, you should really like take the bull by the horns and go find somebody to partner up with.
Igor, the big mistakes people are making, one of them you mentioned before was how people are just sending to it from their squeeze page directly to an affiliate offer, and they're gonna burn their list out. I'm assuming you said that because they're not separating into a buyer's list and a solo list. Am I correct there?
Well, actually, that entire sentence is kind of not exactly on the spot, because many solo sellers will include their buyer list into the promotion. Okay, I personally don't. Okay, if you want to buy a buyer solo from me, you just gotta pay me more, and I'll mail directly to my buyer list. but many sellers, many honest ones, because as we know, there's a bunch of shady ones that do, bait and switch on you. They will mail to their buyer list as well, as long as they have a funnel. So if they have a funnel, they'll tell you that they'll mail to their buyer list. Then you can rest assured that they will. There's also a bunch of people that don't have a buyer list, and they do what we discussed just now. They just do promotions to affiliate offers, and just because they make a few sales with those offers, as they get people on their list, they'll tell you, "I'll mail to my buyer list as well." But that is total bullshit, and I hope I can say the word bullshit on these interviews
You
because
said it twice now, so let's.
these people are not buyers, as they didn't give them any money. The buyer would only consider to be a buyer to me if they send me some money, because then a level of the relationship is totally different. Therefore, some people do go for that affiliate marketing model where they put a person through a squeeze page and redirect them to some kind of affiliate offer, whether WSO or JVZoo product or a ClickBank product or a ClickShare product or whatever else. Now, some even do it for Empower Network and business opportunities. However, here's a few issues with that. A, you don't build a buyer list, so you're handicapping your business. Wow, I mean, I can't even tell you how much money you're leaving on the table, but not doing something like that. B, you have absolutely no value in the eyes of your prospect. So when a prospect would read my sales page, they would get to know me a little bit, and they would commit to me financially. And even if they don't commit to me financially, they would still have some kind of relationship with me going on, because I'll try to follow up with them and get them to buy my product, which is usually effective, gets me another 50% of the people onto the buyer list by doing something like that. Or you do like a special offer at the end of the sequence and you say, here's the last chance, you can get this product for like $10 off or with an additional bonuses, and that's a lot of money. And so you don't build a buyer list, you don't have a relationship with a prospect. But what's like the most hurting thing to their business, number three, is that they don't get to keep the money, all of the money, even if they do make a sale. So they would get like 70% of the money or 50% of the money on the front end. They will get either none of the money or half the money on the back end, and they don't get to keep the customer. So whenever I make a sale with my own offers, I get to keep all of the money on the front end, all the money on the back end. I get the privilege to do a cross-sell on my download page if I have something valuable to promote. I get the privilege of, even if necessary, get people onto a webinar and sell something on the webinar, or just do a webinar to build a better relationship with them, like I did recently with my solo clients, where I offered a bonus. If you get 500 clicks from me, I'll do a special webinar where I showed how I doubled my business. So we generated an extra $7,000 that month just by doing something like that. Okay, so that's a power of a buyer list. You can mail, a promotion to your list, do something extra, a little bit, just a tiny little bit extra, and generate several $1,000s more that you couldn't have gotten otherwise in your business. So that's like why, if you are building your list through affiliate offers, you're leaving tons of money on the table, and you're like literally taking like a desert eagle and shooting yourself in the foot right there, and you sit there and you bleed while trying to fix your business.
If you were writing a sales letter right then with that, I think you've sold most people listening on definitely getting their sales funnel set up. And I understand why people, especially people that are newer to this, setting up a sales funnel can seem a little bit daunting. Even for someone like myself that knows how to do it, I'm like, okay, there's a lot of different parts that are moving parts to it that you can mess up. But like you said, testing is so important that over time, I'm assuming that the first time you test out a sales page and a downsell and an upsell and all that, probably the first time it's not going to convert that well. But over time, if you're able to find out and see what's working and what's not working, and you can fine tune it, then it's definitely worth it.
Well, here's the thing. I find that success is often an equation of how much can you motivate yourself to do the things that are not comfortable, to do the things that you don't want to do, but you really have to. Like, I do not enjoy putting sales funnels together, okay? I can most definitely, no offense, Mike, can think of better things to do than doing this interview with you. Okay, I can most definitely just
What?
grab my wife.
What, Igor?
I can grab my wife and my
Of
daughter
course.
and take off to a lot, which is like an Israeli version of Vegas,
Hmm.
only without casinos because they're legal in Israel, and just have some fun. I can go and drive somewhere and then go and eat some nice fancy lobster dinner or something.
Hmm.
Okay, but I know that if I want to build up my brand, right, which is important to me, I want people to recognize me as the expert that I am. I need to do this interview because an interview is a way to establish yourself as an expert.
Hmm.
Now that is obvious, and I'm pretty sure Mike knows that, and knows exactly why I agreed to do this and disclose my secrets simply because that is beneficial to me
Of course.
and to my business. Now, same thing with sales funnels, same thing with writing copy. It's one of those things that you may not be comfortable with, right? But you really have to do it if you want to make money. If you look at our entire industry and you look at the history, like I love studying history of persuasion. I love to study history of sales funnels. I like to look at the direct mail marketing campaigns of the early 20th century when it was just kind of starting out and booming into a big business. If you study that, you'll know that the biggest breakthroughs, the biggest success, I'm sorry, was achieved by people who weren't like super smart, who weren't super genius, like Gary Halbert, for example. Like he's considered to be the greatest copywriter who ever lived, who walked the earth, and he's deceased right now. He actually made millions, lost them all, made them again, lost them all again, and died broke. Okay, and he failed to. He actually like um, got the money, borrowed the money. Like he didn't steal the money, but he got money anywhere he could, and put it into testing direct mail campaigns that didn't work, and waited for the results, sitting in an apartment with no water or electricity in it. That's probably why he got divorced from the first wife, because she got tired of it.
Sure.
But he wasn't brilliant. He just did it through a lot of testing. So what I'm saying is this: if you look at the biggest success stories of our industry, if you look at, like, even if you look at Mike or myself, which we're not the biggest ones, but we are pretty established, I'd say, in the industry. If you look at Frank Kern, if you look at Mike Filsam, if you look at Andy Jenkins, John Reese, I mean, these are like the big superstars. And anyone else who's considered to be famous and successful within the internet marketing niche, you'd notice that the one thing they all have in common, besides fancy videos, is they all have their own products and offers. Like Frank Kern made millions off of his Mass Control and Mass Control 2.0. Not to mention that it all led into more back-end profits. Like off of Mass Control 2.0, he held like a big workshop in San Diego that he charged like $2,000 per person to go to, and he got like what 200 or 400 people into the room. So you can imagine how much money that made him, and he didn't have to share that money with his affiliates. I believe he only like shared the initial front end and newsletter profits with them. So eventually, he built a business up to a level of $7 million a year, all thanks to the successful launches of his products, which were Mass Control 2.0, Pipeline Profits. There was something else as well, but the fact of the matter is, he had his own products. My success came in the reasons why I was able to scale up my business, because I had my own products and my own funnels. So if you sit there and you keep convincing yourself that you are still looking to find a way to make all this money without having your own products, which I'm sure there is such a way, but I guarantee you'll waste more time and more money looking it up than if you were to just stop, messing around and do what's necessary to do. So, like, if you're looking to lose weight, instead of like looking for the next, pill or the 20-minute abs or whatever, you stop eating fast food and drinking Coca-Cola and go and get yourself into the gym and start working out. Because I've been fat. I've been pretty fat in my entire childhood, and I tried the pills and whatever, didn't work.
Hmm.
But as soon as I stopped eating cakes and sweets and drinking Coca-Cola every day and started running and jogging every day and every other day, I quickly lost a lot of weight and got enough self-confidence to ask a girl out. So life-changing results came in from like massive effort in the gym. Therefore, marketing or any other area of your life is absolutely no different, you know. And if you want to like get even more like evidence to it, you should really Google or go on YouTube and find a guy by the name of CT Fletcher. Okay, you should really listen to what this guy has to say, because as soon as you do, you're gonna get up and get your ass into the gym the same day. I can almost guarantee that. CD Fletcher.
I command you to grow biceps arm day with CT Fletcher.
Yeah, but don't watch it right now because
Of course,
there's
I'm not gonna watch it now.
yeah,
I'll watch it after. But
a lot of profanity in that video. But
nice, nice, cool. Igor, couple things, other things I want to ask you, but we're going a little long here. You mentioned before about the solo ad business and how people have a negative view on it. Is it are there people that are doing it the wrong way? Are people ruining it? What's your take on how the solo ad business is running now and the future of the solo ad business?
all right, well, that's actually a great question, and I'm really happy we're discussing that because I've kind of devoted the last 12 months of my life to educating people about solo ads and why it's actually a good thing. Because a lot of people think it's a very low quality kind of traffic. Others people, the whole industry is shady, and I don't blame them. To be honest, I really don't blame them, unless I was heavily involved with it, and I was, and we're kind of looking at the whole thing from the outside without looking, behind the curtain, so to speak. I'd probably think the same thing. First off, you never know who to trust, right? Because when you buy a solo, it's really like you really just have to rely on the seller. So the trust has to be there. And if you get scammed, which usually happens with many people, because they just, as I said, it's they go out on a limb, trusting somebody. A lot of people take advantage of that. I've been burned myself. Like 2 months ago, I sent somebody $380, and they did not deliver. They stopped answering my messages. They kind of just disappeared and didn't bother. And I couldn't do anything because if you submit a dispute with PayPal, then PayPal can't protect you. They don't protect you with services. And a solo ad is a digital service, therefore you don't get protection. So the only way, of course, to protect yourself would be to submit a chargeback with your credit card company. Okay, so if you get scammed with solo ads, I highly recommend doing something like that because that's the only way you can get your money back. However, it's more productive to simply work with people who are proven to deliver. And you can check who is and who isn't just by doing like a little bit of research about what other people are saying about them. So if you can't find any information about a seller, you are better off not doing business with them. Okay, even if they give you a better price, even if they promise to over deliver for you, if you cannot find any information about them or very little, it's safe to wait until they build up their reputation and come back later on and to work with somebody with an established proven rep instead. So as I said, because of these instances where people get burned and even experienced solo buyers like myself, I can't blame everybody who doesn't approach solo ads as a valid way to make money and grow the list for that reason. However, those who think it's a low quality traffic source, now some of them may not be open to what I'm going to say, but I hope most will, because it is just as good of a traffic than any other form of traffic. It's just a different type of people clicking on those links. They're looking for a different type of thing. Also, if you're promoting a saturated offer, chances are that they won't react. And so a lot of people don't understand if they promote like an offer that's been on the market for a year or 2 years or 2.5 years, why didn't it convert? Well, because, everybody's seen it. If you mail Mass Control right now, that's launched like what, 4 years ago, I mean, nobody's going to buy it because many people have it, and you can find it on torrent sites if you wanted to, or it's just not relevant today because fancy big clickbank product launches just don't work the way they used to. So solo traffic, I mean, the people in this who click on these links, they're looking for a certain type of product, and that's like a whole different conversation to have. But a lot of people, they just have a big offer to market mismatch. Okay, and a big part of what we do is because many people who approach us for solo ads, and when I say us, because we got a team now, I can't manage a six-figure solo business on myself at this point. So many people have like a huge offer message to market mismatch, and we deny them. And that's why many of our clients, if you check with our records and you go, when you Google my name and my name plus solo ads, or just go on the Warrior Forum and find the testimonials, we got at this point over 720 testimonials of satisfied clients. Many of them get sales, because if we know that there's going to be a mismatch between our list and your offer, and we're confident about that, we're not going to let you mail. We're going to tell you to either give us a different offer to mail, or altogether just create a new offer. Because if we take your money, knowingly that you will not make sales, you're not going to come back to buy more traffic because you will not make any money, right? Now, I can't say that every single customer of mine makes sales on the solo. It's obviously that's not the case, and it's like not everybody will succeed online because of the nature of the business, and but a lot of them do. A lot of them do, and that's like the big distinction between what we do and what the shady solo sellers do. And as I said, some will take your money and run away. Others will mail anything just because they want your money. So you really have to look up trusted sellers that will deliver. Now, obviously, if the seller has been featured in any kind of information product or a WSO related to solo ads or list building, they're more likely to follow through because they've taken the time to build a reputation. They cannot risk it, right, by not delivering. So anyone who's been in this project is probably going to deliver for you. Okay, not sure about me. I'm probably not going to deliver. I'm probably going to take your money. But a lot of people in this interview series are going to deliver for you. And so that's like the biggest reason people think it's a shady industry altogether, because there's very little trust, and it's hard to find trust. And that's why when you find a reliable solo seller to work with, you're really better off with sticking to them and a few others instead of just trying to buy from everybody. Okay, because you can get all the traffic you need from just a couple of people anyway.
You know what I would say is that one thing I see is not just with solo ads, but with just different traffic sources, that people will say Facebook ads don't work, or AdWords doesn't work, or media buying doesn't work. And I think that one of the biggest reasons why people say that is because there's so many things that can go wrong in the fact that if they have a horrible sales funnel, then they're going to say it doesn't work, because if their copy is horrible and they don't make any sales, for them, they're going to say, oh, that it doesn't work. If they're sending to Empower Network and they're not getting any signups, and they're saying, oh, that traffic source doesn't work. But in reality, that traffic source can be perfectly fine. It's not that doesn't work. It's you and your offer that doesn't work. Maybe less you, but your offer that doesn't work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, perhaps the quality of your knowledge and your mindset at this point in time isn't big enough, isn't broad enough for you to actually be able to turn solo ads into a profitable traffic source for you. But I gotta tell you, I mean, I've purchased banner ads and media buys that generated just the same result as solo ads. Sometimes, a bit more pathetic results than solo ads. But oftentimes I would find that I'm paying, if my banner ad is any good and generates a good CDR, which is click-through rate for somebody who's just starting out and listening to this, I'd usually generate a click for 40 to 50 cents a click, and convert just as many people on the back end if I were to do it from solo ads, because people who open up and read emails are the same people that go on Facebook, are the same people that go on the Warrior Forum, are the same people that visit blogs within our community and click on those links. You see, so in other words, the quality of the product is pretty much the same across all these platforms. But here's the thing: there's a big difference, and there's a phone going on. Sorry, it's not my phone. My phone is on silent right now. I'm respecting the time we're spending.
Thank you, Igor. I appreciate it.
So there's a key distinction as to how you advertise with different traffic sources. For example, the banner ad media buying. Okay, usually is done either through the site owner or the Google themselves, where they put like people put codes on their site and Google decides which a banner to put onto the website. So Google is usually more expensive and will not allow you to link directly to a squeeze page. So they banned squeeze pages like a long time ago. They banned affiliate marketers a long time ago. Many clients that approach me for consulting and mentoring throughout the last 2 years, they all had the same experience of I'm making a bunch of money with Google, AdSense, affiliate marketing, CPA offers to dating sites, etc. Google shuts me down, or Google updates the algorithm, or both. I'm not making any money, or I'm making very little money, and I need to feed the family. Okay, so the solo ads compared to Google traffic, you can just grab and link it anywhere as long as the list owner is open for you to mail it. So if you want to mail directly to a squeeze page that links to a dating offer, or if you want to mail to a squeeze page that links to a CPA offer, or a squeeze page links to an affiliate offer or a WSO, right? I'm pretty sure many people will grab solo ads, put them to a squeeze page, and link it to this product when it goes on sale. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen because it's related to solo ads anyway, so it only makes sense. Therefore, um, the list owner, if he agrees, you can do it. Oftentimes, you can do it for 1/3, if not 1/5 of the cost it would cost you to do it with Google, which is even better. Now, if we compare solo ads to Facebook ads, okay, that's another key distinction, because Facebook ads, even though they will allow you to link to a squeeze page, it really has to be very low-key, very gentle kind of squeeze page. So if you make any kind of income claims, they will not approve your ad. I've tried, okay? If you will try and promote a make money online offer like Empower Network, they will not approve your ad. If you come up with a list building product, but you present it as a money making product, so instead of like the headline saying, how I've built a $5,000 per month list building business, that will not get approved. But if you say, here's how I build a list of 10,000 people in 60 days, that will. But essentially, that will not sell as great as you saying you've made money with that list. Okay, so like I've literally tested 2 pages and getting them approved on Facebook. One of them was very gentle, and you can check it out if you go to thelistbuildinglifestyle.com. One word, no dashes, just thelistbuildinglifestyle.com. You'll see it's a letter about me, about my life, and inviting you to apply to a strategy session to discuss how to grow your business and grow your list building. So you can too enjoy the list building lifestyle, do interviews with Mike from bars and coffee shops like that, or take off to vacations anytime you want to take your business with you. So there's 2 versions of that page. One version is the letter and testimonials from my coaching clients where they make claims of the money they've made. So like Justin Tillman claiming he made $800 in a single day. Juan Morales, who claimed that he started making about $1,000 a day within 7 days of working with me. A bunch of people. On the other hand, a different type of letter, identical but no testimonials. So it's all gentle, no income claims, talks only about my life and my struggles, how I used to work as a security guard and make my way through the desert at night, running away from desert dogs who could bit me and, get me rabies. Really, I mean, true story. Because, Israel is like a desert, and you live in Turkey, Mike, so you know like what a desert means, right? Mm-hmm. So, really cold at night, desert dogs and stuff like that. So the entire letter with no income claims whatsoever, that got approved, the other one didn't. Okay? So with Facebook, you really have to go gentle, therefore your conversions will suffer, and not only you pay more per click than you pay with solo ads, right? Within the IM niche, obviously. So if you're looking to advertise in a different niche, then Facebook ads make more sense. You can target interest and stuff like that. But I work mostly in the IM MMO niche. Therefore, I test different traffic sources in that specific niche. And so that will cost you more money, and your conversions go down. You can make income claims. You really have to take people off Facebook, right? You have to like put them through maybe a fan page or a different page on your site, but take no income claims and just put them through a different page on your site outside of Facebook to make anything, to make any kind of claims. Therefore, it's just the difference and it has its pros and cons. And if you really just discard it altogether, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, and you're leaving a very fast list growth on the table as well. And of course, you should be just using solo ads, because I don't. Obviously, you have to like diversify and use everything possible. But I gotta tell you that I gotta open your eyes to the fact. I'm sorry. To the fact that Warrior Forum has oftentimes proved to be, generated just as low quality prospects as solos would on many different occasions with many different offers. Oftentimes, if I, which I do often, and you can see my banners there pretty much every day, mostly from a mentorship
I
program.
always see them.
Yeah, so you should really click on those banners and sign up. By the way,
I'm sure.
That's a great program. We've changed like close to 50 lives right now. So if I compare, I've tried running solo to a squeeze page to an offer, and a Warrior Forum banner ad, which is more expensive. It's $100 a day. No click guarantees, just $100. With solos at least you get click guarantees, and you would also usually, if the solo vendor is any reputable and any good. So I would generate off of a squeeze page that people from the Warrior Forum would go to like 20 to 15% opt-in rate versus solo ads that got me 40 to 60 opt-in rate. Why? Because the people from the solo ad community, so to speak, like those who click on emails, they're like conditioned to sign up to lists. They're okay with it. People on the Warrior Forum, they feel like you owe them something in a way. So if you request for them to sign up to your list, it's almost as equal to them as giving you money, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever discovered in my business, but it is true. People on the Warrior Forum think if you demand their email address in order to give them something free anyway, you should really be doing, you should, as if you're charging money for that, so you should really over-deliver, and if you do, they will consider giving you money. So that's like a whole different mentality. Therefore, you really have to match your message to the market you're hitting, even though it's the same people, but the frame of mind is different.
I think that's the whole point. I think the whole point of it is you need to match your message with the market that you're going for. If it's the solo ad market, if it's the Facebook, if it's the Warrior Forum market, you need to match how you're presenting it to them in order to get them to respond.
It's like, think about this as if you're doing, once again, I'm going to be going back to direct mail examples. Direct mail people, they advertise in magazines and newspapers. So Gary Halbert used to always say that you really need to match your advertising to the publication you're going with. So if you advertise in USA Today and you advertise in Fisherman Weekly, right, you really have to tailor your advertising to these publications. So in USA Today, it should be somewhat political in your advertising. So like something like I've actually heard this example from Russell Brunson, so it's a real campaign. Obama is out there to take your money. Okay, so he's like was targeting people who are reading publications that are opposed to Obama. So Obama's out there to take your money, but this guy Russell Brunson's got the hookup on how to protect yourself. So they would click it, and he would introduce some kind of money-making opportunity. So like he would like really tailor the advertising. Now obviously it's kind of misleading, but that's like Russell Brunson's choice, and he's very controversial in his marketing. I actually respect the guy, but sometimes he just takes it over the line. So I'm not sure if I would do something like.
But he gets people's attention, and he gets the clicks, and he's going to get people.
They buy hundreds of thousands of worth of advertising on CPA networks and online publications, and they buy souls from me as well. So these guys are big. So if you want to study somebody, study Russell Brunson. The guys know what he's doing. Now, if you advertise in Fisherman Weekly, right? You can do something like, let's just say your target market is people who fish for a living. So they like go and they fish and they sell the fish, and they're tired. So you're targeting people, fishermen over 40 who are just tired of fishing. They just want to relax. They just want to get rid of that. They want to do something else. They're bored. So look into, like the ad would say something like, looking to retire from fishing and make even more money every month. Call this free recorded message at 1-800-Fisherman's Heaven, and to discover the easiest way to quit your fishing day job in 60 days. You know,
Targeting.
so yeah, it really has to target the people you're going for. And many people don't take the time to study that. You know, obviously it takes some money to establish what works, what not. But oftentimes, if you just take a little bit of time to do the research, you will find out that you can increase your response by a big percentage. And that's why one of my biggest role models, Dan Kennedy, he says that 90% of copy fails even before a word is written. And that is because people don't take the time to find out what works, what doesn't work, what to do, and what not to do. They just copy something, you know, and they don't know if that something actually works.
It's true. It's true. Well, Igor, really, we've gone over on what I quoted you on for the time here, so thank you for that. Is there anything that you wanted to mention before we wrap it up today?
Well, I'd say you should be open to test the new avenues in your business. So if you've been blocking silhouettes by simply by hearing someone tell you, "Oh, these are no good," then you should really find out for yourself. Because I've been blocking Facebook ads for myself for now for like a year and a half. I've been hearing about those, but I was discarding those as complicated, you know. But there's really nothing complicated about it. I had a friend of mine, Emka, explain this to me in 40 minutes on a call, and I was able to make it work. In fact, I've added an extra couple of $1,000s to my business just thanks to the Facebook ads, but by advertising one of our services. Now, I wasn't able to scale it up just yet, but obviously it works. Okay, I've had many ads disapproved, I've had many ads approved, but the fact of the matter is, I was leaving money on the table by not using that thing. And now that I kind of rolled back in my head, I realized what a dumbass I was. So I can pretty much guarantee there's something like that that you've been putting off for a while. Maybe silhouettes, maybe Facebook ads, maybe banner ads, maybe whatever. Just test it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? You'll lose some money. Okay, you'll make that money back. Money is easy to replenish because, you know, it's money. It just moves around. So, but at the same time, I mean, like I said, if you fail, you kind of stay where you are anyway. So you're already here, you're already failing, so why not try? But if you try, you achieve breakthrough and you break away from where you are right now, which is where you want to not be. So you really have nothing to lose, as I see, besides a couple $100.
And if people want to reach out, buy a solo ad from you, or approach you for coaching, where can they reach you at?
If you want to go buy a solo from me, you should go to igorsoloads.com, which is like a brand new shortcut. I just purchased it, you know, a few weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I used to have like a complicated URL. So igorsoloads.com, or you can just Google Igor Kheifets. You know, pretty much pops up on the first search result. And if you want to approach me for coaching how to build a solo business or how to successfully use solo ads to build a list and build a full-time income, then you can go to thelistbuildinglifestyle.com, which is one word, thelistbuildinglifestyle.com. You'll see my story. You'll see stories of my students as well. If you hit on the non-Facebook version of that page, and if you scroll down, there's going to be a form that you have to fill out with your contact information and the biggest struggle you're experiencing right now, and my assistant will get in touch with you to set up a call for us.
And there's a great picture of a desert dog on that page as well.
A vicious desert dog.
Desert dog.
Yeah. There's
Igor,
also a picture of me working in a coffee shop, so, you know.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah, there's some nice pictures of you. Oh, there we go. That's very nice. Cool, Igor. Again, thank you very much for doing this today. Really appreciate it.
Well, my pleasure, man. I actually enjoyed it very, very much.